Hi guys, I'm Elizabeth, one of the interns at Brooks this semester, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a watercolor Easter egg. So first you'll need a pencil, a paintbrush, your watercolor paints, your watercolor paper or any paper, some Elmer's glue or just any sort of liquid glue, and a cup of water. You can pretty much find these supplies around your house. If not, they are super cheap at the craft store. So first you're going to draw out your Easter egg. You can use a stencil if you would like to make it more perfect. You can probably find one on like Google Images, but I decided to free draw mine. As you can see, I made some mistakes, so I'm going back and erasing it just to make it a little more like the shape of an egg. After that, you just begin drawing your designs in that you would like. So I chose to do some swirls, dividing up each design with a line underneath it, trying to make it as straight as possible. You can use a ruler if you would like, if you're a little more of a perfectionist, but I kind of like the way it looks freehand. As you can see, not everything is super even, so I will go back and try to straighten that out, make everything connect. And you do not have to follow these designs exactly. You can do whatever you would like. Just get as creative as you can. After that, I'm going to draw some squiggly lines. And dividing that again. After that, I'm just going to draw some flowers out for springtime. Nothing has to be perfect, especially with just your sketches. And then I think dividing them up kind of just is a good way to separate each pattern so you can see it all clearly. And I go back through and just repeat that design. Again, you do not have to follow this if you do not want to. But I do recommend using a pencil. And if you're lucky, you'll have a cat come in and interrupt your video also. She'll do that a few times. She was trying to drink the water, the paint water cup. And again, just repeating that swirl design at the bottom. I go all the way across with it, even though she blocks your view. So after you have your design out, you're going to take your glue and you're going to go over everything you drew out with the glue and try to get a nice thick line of glue going. This is going to help your paint separate and stay in the spots that you would like and add a little more texture to your Easter egg. So again, if you get some spots where the glue looks thin, go back over it, try to create a nice thick line. You're just going to go over each design. I kind of recommend doing the designs in the middle before outlining the egg. That way you don't have to worry about keeping your hand out of the glue or messing anything up. It's a little tricky, but it is doable. And again, you can go back over the glue with the glue if you do mess up. These do not have to be perfect. You'll still be able to see the swirls with the paint on top. This is just to add a little more texture and keep the paint from spreading everywhere. And for the flowers, I just went ahead and filled in with the glue instead of trying to go around each petal. It made it a little bit easier if you do decide to do a design like that. You'll still be able to see the flower sketch underneath the paint. Just went ahead and did this for every single one. It does not have to be perfect. So once you finish adding the glue over all of the designs, you're going to want to let it dry completely. You may even have to wait overnight to ensure that it is all dry, and then you will be ready to begin painting. You will still be able to see the pencil underneath the glue, especially if you do use clear glue, but that is okay. So get your paintbrush nice and wet and pick out your colors. You do not have to follow the colors that I am using. I decided to do a pink and purple tie-dye effect. So you want it nice and wet. You may even have to dip it in water again. Totally fine. That way the color spreads nicely and you'll be able to get that nice ombre tie-dye looking effect. And it's not going to soak into the glue areas, so it'll add a nice texture to it. Just kind of paint it on there. Doesn't have to be neat. The glue around the outer edge is going to help it stay inside of the egg design. If it does get a little outside, that's totally fine. They also do have colorful glue. I know Michaels has some that might create a cooler border if you would like to use that instead of just clear glue. And you do not have to use a watercolor paintbrush. As you can see, I'm definitely not. It really doesn't matter in my opinion. You can also use a thicker paintbrush, a thinner one, whatever you would like. So I'm going in with the next darkest pink, and I'm kind of just going to blend that. It's not too much of a difference. And as the paint dries, you'll be able to see where it kind of lifts off the paper with the glue. And I really like watercolor because you can see how the paint goes from super dark to lighter as the paint kind of wears away from the water, giving the painting a little more dimension. It doesn't look so flat. So the next, I decided to go in with the darkest purple and go at the top. Just kind of smear it on there. It doesn't have to be any sort of way. I do recommend getting the paintbrush really wet so the paint is easier spread. You can see, especially with the dark purple, how it kind of lifts off in those areas, giving the picture some nice dimension, like a 3D look, 3D design, going in with the second lightest or the second darkest purple. And you'll see if you add more water to the paintbrush, the paints kind of blend together, giving it like a nice ombre effect. And you can decide where the paint goes. It doesn't have to be in any particular order. It doesn't have to be any particular colors. Just whatever you think would look best. I'm taking the lightest color that I'll be using. Again, you want to add as much water as you can. Just adding that to the center, kind of blend all the colors together. Then after that, you kind of just take your wet paintbrush and you go over the whole painting, make sure all the paint is blended nice. There's no just blank white areas. And if those pencil lines bother you, you also do not have to draw it out first. You can just use the glue. Here I'm just adding a nice little Happy Easter print at the bottom. You'll be able to see it in a second. I do flip it upside down, so I am sorry about that. And there you have it. Thank you guys for watching.